I was born with Those are cool. Put that up there. Well, I don't know. I get on Facebook from years ago.
The original pitch. You would say life expectancy. You
don't want to post it? What is it? I think it's Greene County Audit. We might have a couple of different pages. Well, that's going to slow things down, bro. Of course, you probably want to keep them up, right? Bylaws, white platform, state page, national page. Temporary tax to help support ammunition.
Where's your papers?
You want to see your documentation?
Yeah.
I went and pulled it up.
Yeah.
Like, I got it here. I'll show you the website.
They don't want to stop. Go back and watch you.
Because the mistakes are always in their favor. You can overpay, you can overpay. They don't care. They don't care. If you underpay, you get a penalty.
What was it again?
What's your number one libertarian issue?
Oh, well. Kind of local, it's not really.
That's perfect. Here, want me to get you yours? Or do you want to? Something else.
Sure.
You're leaning in a position with the government. Yeah, the What's your number one libertarian issue?
I believe get our message out to the local people. Help them understand. Third alternative. First Friday of the month.
I wish I had better microphone equipment. That'll work. You gotta put a little competition, you gotta put that up on YouTube if it's
Almost got many up. Close some things.
I'll get started. I don't know where my game is. Back in the Doug made it. Where are you going, Angela? The next couple of hours or so, we're going to have some people speak on different issues. Everybody has issues. The first are going to be people with petitions. Different petitions here in Greene County. The first one we can talk about is the audit of Greene County. There are people in the county who believe that the presiding commissioners and possibly the sheriff's department, at least he's the one making all the steam, might have used government funds to promote a half-cent sales tax using county resources in the courthouse. There have been approximately 23 whistleblowers come forward to the Missouri State Auditor's Office complaining about this. Now, one, you can kind of maybe dismiss it, but then when it starts escalating up to 23 people, something is not right. So, we have a petition here in Greene County to audit the county by the state auditor. I think it's Nicole. Yeah. Ms. Galloway. I thought Susan Monteith did a good job over her tenure as auditor. Doug was among one that had the Springfield School, I think. City, was it city? Yeah, okay. So, those in Greene County that are a registered voter in Greene County can sign the petition. I believe there is one over there somewhere. Somewhere, somebody has it. You have to kind of keep track of it. You shouldn't let it out of your sight if you're petitioning for whatever reason. Was it Randy? You don't let your petition out of your sight, no matter what it is, because you're responsible for the names on that, and the thing could disappear. You've lost all those signatures. Did you, by any chance, pull up Facebook? Greene County audit today at 10 o'clock. Well, that's come and gone. You're at the station on the north side and the center on the south side. That was 10 o'clock, so that's gone. 2 p.m. at Willard. 7 p.m. in front of the House Lounge. If anybody in Greene County wants to sign it, I don't know where the front of the house is. Oh, South Street.
Used to be High Life, if you guys remember those days.
No, I don't. Is it under the Outland?
It's right next door to the Outland downstairs, which is kind of below the Outland Ballroom.
Okay. Right there on South Street?
Yep.
It's an even number, so it's on the east side of the road.
It's on the street right next door to the Outland downstairs.
That's if they know where Outland is.
You live in Springfield,
Well, possibly. I kind of know.
Just Google the Outland.
I kind of know where the Outland is. I don't go upstairs. That's too much.
I used to play there every weekend, so.
All right. We have had a speaker on proportional representation. So next would be United Cannabis. Is that you? Yeah. All right. Thank you, Steve.
How's it going? Great. Steve again. Yeah. What I'm working right now, and Sam and I, one of our good friends, Doug, kind of took the reins on it, but we're working with a lot of different legislation. I'm working on one, the Cannabis Restoration and Protection Act. I have petitions all over the state right now, just waiting for those to come filing in. Hopefully some of them I start seeing them, but there's a lot of marijuana reformation going on. A lot of different platforms out there that we can kind of work, whether it be marijuana, medical, whether it be any type of other cannabis reform. That's really what our main focus is going to be on, is just moving the state forward towards legal cannabis. Eventually I want to see more than that, but we got to get our shoe in wherever we can. So that's really what I want to kind of work towards. If you'd like to sign my petition, I do have plenty here. If you'd like to come sign it, but I implore you to look at all the other petitions that are out there. Sign as many as you can. Be sure you don't double sign. Sign as many as you can. The more options that we have for Missouri, obviously, the better it's going to be. We're going to disagree on a lot of the smaller issues, but the bigger part of the story is we all want to see cannabis in a different position than what it's in. So that's what I advocate. Just let's work towards the first step. We can argue about it later, but let's just at least get something done while we can and while this issue is on. So that's what I have on United Cannabis. If you want to find out more, there's our Facebook, United Cannabis USA. Come check it out. I have to approve your friend request. And as long as you're with the cause, that's all we care about. We don't really want to fight and bicker amongst each other. We really just want to get something done in the state of Missouri. Thank you.
Well, Mr. Chris or Flora.
We're gonna have him talk about home rule charter, and then
Okay, and then.
I'll go last, because we don't have a petition yet.
Right. Home rule charter, yes.
Let's see, so as I've got a petition here, which will, for the Greene County voters of Greene County to decide if they want a county charter or not. Greene County is currently a Class 1 county that does not have a home rule charter. And what a home rule charter is like the bylaws or the constitution that governs the county. There's a lot of pro and con about that. I guess depends on what goes into the county charter that really makes it effective. In some counties, I think they appoint positions that are currently elected. So there's a lot of pros and cons that go behind that. But currently in Greene County, we've had a lot of problems over the past decade, or even longer than that, that a home rule charter would eliminate some of those problems. I'm not going to say they're doing that all of them, but right now an elected official, like Greene County Sheriff, gets elected and they go into an office, they're going to do one of two things. Either make up their own rules, as the state of Missouri allows them to, or they're going to go off what the previous predecessor was doing before them. And so what a county charter would do would outline each office, like bylaws do for even our party here. We have bylaws that talk about what our chairman does, what our vice chair does, what our treasurer does, and the duties thereof. And so a county charter would outline each office that is not clear in the state constitution. So what this petition here does is all it will do is put on the ballot, do the Greene County voters of Greene County want to adopt a county charter? And once that has been, if that passes, it will then the county judges will appoint a panel of, this is what I don't like, Republicans and Democrats to draft the charter. And then the charter will go back to the voters to vote on it. This is something that I think can be done. I think this is something that as a libertarian, I believe in the rule of law. I don't believe in the rule of authoritarian dictatorships like the Republicans and Democrats. step in the right direction to having more of a rule of law. So that's what, those are the petition efforts that are going on with this initiative petition, which will go to the county clerk who will certify these and then get it over to the county commission who will send a letter over to the judges, and the judges will then form a committee and get it on the ballot and all that other stuff. So there's a process that's already outlined in the state constitution for how to adopt a county charter. Are there any questions?
The commission that who appoints the commission is a panel of judges, I guess, and those would be what, Greene County judges?
The Greene County judges, the judges of the county. I believe county, the structure of county government is the judges are actually above the county commission. And so therefore the judges make that appointment after they get a recommendation from the county commissioners. Any other questions?
In the state of Missouri, who has a city charter?
City charter? City charter.
Or county?
County charter, I believe, was it Jackson County? Jefferson County? I know Kansas, the counties up in Kansas City have one. St. Louis County has one. So that, yeah, the majority of all the first-class counties have them, except for Greene County. I think Greene County and maybe two others don't have one. Now, there's people that I've talked to on Facebook that can tell you the cons of their counties that have one. They don't even follow it, which is one thing, you know. We have a constitution and our Congress doesn't even follow it, but, you know, does that mean that we shouldn't have a constitution? You know, so I think that if we have a county charter, we can say, go to our county officials and go, hey, we have a charter, you need to follow it. And I think that'd be a good starting point, and if there's any provisions in there that we disagree with, we can get it put on the ballot to have it amended. And find it on Facebook. It's the Greene County Initiative Petition for Constitutional Home Rule Charter. Kind of a long name, but that's what it is. Huh?
4 counties.
Four what?
4 counties
4 counties don't.
to have it.
They have it.
Jefferson, St. Charles, and St.
In St. Louis.
St. Charles.
So how many first-class counties are there in Missouri?
17, 4 of which are charters.
Okay. So I had that backwards.
And Mr. Chris Burrows is going to speak on fluoride-free Springfield.
What are you gonna do with my fluoride?
Nasty stuff out of there. So, in 1982, the citizens of Springfield actually voted to put fluoride in the water. And so we're part of a group called Fluoride Free Springfield, or I'm part of a group called Fluoride Free Springfield. Randy Blair, that was here earlier, is in that group. And we really believe that, and you know, there's been some research done and some studies which are on our website that you can find under our mission. There's a link to documents. There's been studies done that show some neurotoxin that is harmful to your health. And we kind of believe that, you know, when it comes to medication, you have a right to informed consent on what you're putting into your body, and don't think that the government should be making a choice as to, you know, what medication you're taking. Fluoride is the only thing that's added to the water that's not added for, you know, treatment of the water to purify the water. It's just added to prevent tooth decay. So we really think that, you know, if you decide that you want to ingest fluoride, then, you know, feel free to go buy a tube of fluoridated toothpaste, or, you know, they used to give fluoride supplements to children in school, and so, I mean, you know, whether or not you agree with it, the question is, should the city be putting fluoride in the water against your consent? So we want to put a petition together to put an issue on the ballot to vote to have fluoridation stopped in Springfield. So this is
our website, and you're free to visit that, and we also have a Facebook page, Fluoride Free Springfield, and then actually the page is Poison on Tap, and then there's a group, but we have a video, Poison on Tap. It's actually a documentary. We link to it on our website, so feel free to go on there and review that, and if you're interested in joining our group, you can go to the Get Involved, and we have our meeting times and ways to get signed up under that. Any questions on fluoridation?
I do. Do you know whether advocates of fluoridation maintain that there are salutary benefits from fluoridation for adults, or is it just for children, the prevention of cavities?
Well, I mean, there's been at least one study I think I've seen that they say, well, you know, after a certain age, you kind of need to cut it back, and they had water that they were selling for a while with the added fluoride in for babies that you could buy at Walmart. And Japheth and I were in Walmart the other day. We were like, let's go find this. I have a prop from it, but we couldn't find it. But I think, you know, they say as you get older, which there is an argument to be made for it has a benefit for topical application if you get cavities, but ingesting fluoride is not going to prevent cavities on your teeth. It's going to get you on your bloodstream. So, as far as that, you know, they tell you.
So adults are supposedly also benefit from cavity prevention.
Yeah, the prevention of tooth decay is what you know, and the dental industry is behind it, and so, I mean, you know, you can't really find a dentist that's going to speak evidence to even if they don't agree with it. I mean, you know, the dental industry might threaten your job, or who knows. There's the CPA is recommended like 0.7 parts per million, and I think Springfield does just like 0.1 parts per million and maybe 1 part per million. They kind of do the bare minimum. The city of Battlefield actually stopped water fluoridation because it was damaging the pipes. I mean, so there's another argument for that. There was, you know, it was eating away concrete and glass at these factories, and it's really it's not a natural substance. What it is a byproduct of the phosphate fertilizer industry, phosphate fertilizer. And, you know, they had it in the plants and they kept burning off. The United States is really one of the only countries that fluoridates water. The European countries don't do it, and the Asian countries. And so they will take their fluoride and send it over here, and we just dump it in the water to get rid of it, you know? So they say, well, and this Poison on Tap video kind of goes into, well, you know, how are you going to get rid of it? Well, say it's preventing cavities and tooth decay, and then dump it in the water, and, you know, so, I mean, you know, it's kind of a far left field. You get a lot of people that, think, oh, fluoride is good for me and I gotta have it. But, I mean, I've seen no benefit of it. I've brushed with fluoridated toothpaste and got cavities. But I mean, so you can get fluoride-free toothpaste too if you choose to do that. Yes, yeah, we have that study on here as well, and then, yeah, so 97%. The other countries, I think we're crazy. Any other questions? All right. That's all I've got. Oh, there was a brochure that we had, which anybody can look at. I think Randy took most of them, but 10 facts on fluoride, and we've got this little page here about our website and our groups. And feel free to look at that if you want. Thank you, everybody.
Well, we're going to hear from some candidates next. We're going to let Ben go first since he's got to hit the road. And then Steve, Cecil. Sean, and Jacob.
Website, Ben?
I think benversus.com. Well, it wasn't, I have to leave for Kansas City to go coach my boys. They've been undefeated for about the last 8 months in the local competition, so I'm super excited about it. So really I wanted to stand up here and maybe talk about the history of our little party. So if you look around right now, I don't know how many people in the room, 20 people or so, 15 people, I can't count rooms that are quickly And really, when I first came up to this party about 5 years ago, we had Mark Magic Jones at a Willard Independence Day parade. We had Bill Boone there. We had Doug and probably his 2 little kiddos, and that was about all we had. We had about 4 people. Since then, Mark Magic Jones has gone full anarcho-capitalist, so we're technically down a person. But if you look around here over 4 or 5 years, we've watched this place grow. We've watched our community grow, and it's really about creating this libertarian culture that's going to excite people and get people involved and become a community, a support network even, to help people stay clean and to help people improve their lives. And so for me, the Libertarian Party has been so much more than just go out there and run for office and try to change the world, as a lot of young people try to do. It's become so much more than that. So I've met lifelong friends with you guys, and it really started with just a few people willing to stick it out for 10 years. You know, Mark Magic Jones and Doug Burleson and Bill have stuck it out for 10, 15 years, and look at where we're at. We're on our second annual convention. We're missing 3 or 4 people that could be here today from last year's annual convention. And so if we can continue to build this momentum, we have nothing but success for our future. We're all young around here, minus a few bald people, which I'm going to be there to see. So I love to pull this sweet bald hair look. Don't worry, it's on the way. So we are the future. To me, there is no doubt about it. We have a very active group here in Missouri. Thank you, KC people, for coming down here. Thank you for having us go up there and practice our speeches and get better at what we do, presenting the ideas of libertarianism. And it's just so super exciting. And just to get more people on the ballot. And if you look at the last national convention, Bill Boone said he was there prior at a different national convention. He was able to sit in different delegates. I can tell you this next national convention is not going to happen. It didn't happen at the one that I was with in Orlando. You're stuck with your state. It's getting that hopping. There's 1,000 people down there, and we all want to be sitting on the floor, including myself. And so you just get these nice stories about hanging out with Austin Peterson or hanging out with Gary Johnson, and it's just something you can bring back, a piece of libertarian culture that you get to bring back to your party. So please go to the national convention. Please try to travel around the state and enjoy each other, because there's not very many of us out there. You know, and so we have to spread the message in the ways that we know how, and create friendships and bonds and communities. So when the debt ceiling does finally need to, when it does hit the fan, when the debt becomes a problem, they're going to look at us libertarians, you know, the elephants in the back of the room. You know, hey guys, this has been a problem. You're Keynesian economics from the supply sides of the Republicans who like to continue on their deficits, or the demand side of the Democrats who like to spin through the government. You're going to say, hey, well, we're actually some free market capitalists. I've been telling you this for the last 50 years or so. And so it's just super exciting that we're in that position. I hope you guys can feel that. Like, they're starting to listen to us. They're stealing our name, for goodness sake. They're trying to take our ideas and put it into their party. And even if we don't become 100% successful when we start taking elections left and right, we've changed the way America forever will be. And I think we should all be excited about that. Now, some of my issues for my congressional campaign here in the 7th District is always going to be pro-peace. We're trying to bring our troops home from all around the world. That's part of the supply side Keynesian argument on the right wing, where they continue to use debt and inflation to spur on the war economy, the military-industrial complex. And it will always be dear to my heart to remember what it was like, you know, with the Obama election, and to be fighting for him as an Obama drone, specifically for peace, and then to run into Ron Paul and find somebody who actually fought for peace for 30 years, and just how rewarding it was to become part of that community. And so I'd love to continue on the pro-peace platform, as always. There's always going to be different ideas about how we present the Libertarian Party and which issues that we decide to bring up the most. And so I advise for us to try to be a big tent Libertarian Party. So you got Austin Peterson on the far right, if you want to think about it like that, all the way to the Libertarian governor candidate, Zoltan, right? Zoltan, who's trying to do a universal basic income through some weird land tax thing, which I don't 100% support, but as I've said before, there's a universal basic income idea that could come out of the libertarian tradition. And so please keep our tent as big as possible as we can. Let's stop fighting with each other. Look how many people we have in this room. Imagine if we stopped egging each other on during marijuana petitions, or which one's better, anarcho-capitalism or minarchism. If we can get rid of all this decisiveness, get rid of all the divisiveness, if we can get rid of all this stuff, we can really become a massive force of American politics, and we already are. And so I'm super excited to be continuing to run for this office. I spent $500 of my own money last time around. I got over 100 signs out. Got one of the biggest turnouts here in the state. You know, I guess barring Cecil's two-way race, so you got 27%, I think. 21%. I think I got 5% in a bigger race. And you know, that's coming off a little bit of Kevin Craig's shadow another guy that's been around for 10 years that we can't seem to get to show up. We're all just kind of herding cats around here, it seems like. But we're going to be able to take my campaign further, Japheth's campaign further, Steve's campaign further than we've ever had before, and it's all because of your guys' hard work. It's not just us candidates. It takes the campaign manager. It takes Ned wanting to make videos of all of us. It takes inviting us to speak. It takes the history of people being on city council and giving us that confidence that we need to stand up in front of you and say, hey, I've been there. I was actually there when Bob Certain ran for presiding commissioner, and I was the one that stood up at the table and said, leaders don't raise taxes. And I paused. I said, leaders don't raise taxes. And sure enough, what did he do? He raised taxes, but he wouldn't have led you to believe that during the debate. No, not a chance. So the truth is that when we run for office, when we put our money where our mouth is, and we try, even if it's not 100% successful, we have the history to tell about it. I've been all over Bob Certain and the Greene County audit. We're having a great time doing it, and I hope we can continue on with our march for liberty, and I hope we can get liberty in our lifetime, and if not, we surely are guiding our kids to a much brighter future. Thank you so much.
Next up is Steve Tlapek.
Doug. See you, Doug.
Bye, Doug. Bye, Doug.
I'm Steve Blank. I'm running for State Rep 135 here in Greene County. State Rep there. I'll just kind of start in the history of how I became libertarian. I was basically libertarian before I even knew what it was. I grew up in a tiny town called Eldridge, Missouri. Population, a couple hundred. We didn't have a government. Believe it or not, we were an unincorporated town. We had no city hall, we had no mayor, we had no police force. No one died. You know how that works. But that kind of gave me the dose of freedom. It wasn't until I moved into the bigger city, even moving up to Lebanon up the road, where I was like, wow, they have city councils and meetings and laws that I can't even fire my own gun in my front yard. What is this? I wasn't used to it. So that kind of gave me my dose of liberty. Never had trust for much authority, but that's where I kind of found the middle ground. Like I said, I was libertarian until I knew what it actually was. But as a state rep, I want to run on many different platforms. I'm going to just touch on a couple that I'm looking for and wanting to change just in the state of Missouri itself. I think that's where a lot of it can start. If we start locally, if people can see what we can do on a local level and it works, I think people will see it on a larger scale and see that it can work for them too. So just diving right into it, I mean, obviously, I'll just start off with the libertarian forte here, taxes. We all don't like them. I have a huge bill coming up and all I did was buy property. Doesn't make much sense. So one thing that I want to do, obviously when it comes to Greene County, the biggest thing that I want to try to do is help lower the property tax rate that we have in Greene. It's getting absolutely ridiculous. I mean, I only own a really crappy house in a 2010 Malibu, and I'm looking at over $700 in property taxes. I don't have much. So, a lot of people are in a position where they cannot pay their property taxes every year. And at the same time, we're seeing a lot of older people, and Cecil is even trying to get this fixed. For older people who are having to choose between whether they keep their lights on or pay their property taxes. And I don't think we should ever be in a position where you have to decide, should I take my heart medication or pay taxes? Just overreach to the biggest extortion, because, I mean, the Greene County taxes, if you look at them, they essentially waste it, and you can see it in how they run their business. So I'll go into it. That's a huge rabbit hole I will not get into. One thing that I really want to focus on, too, is do what's worked for us. Let's reduce taxes on small businesses. For the mere fact that businesses is what helped recover Springfield from what it was. If you looked at downtown 10 years ago, no government could have saved that. If you looked at Commercial Street, even 5 years ago, there's no government that could have saved that. What saved it? Allowing companies to come in, put up the money to do that, build businesses, create jobs, increase our infrastructure, to where we have more revenue. But you also have people that complain constantly that small business owners do not pay their employees. We've all heard that argument. It could be possible if they were put on an even playing field and not expected to pay as much taxes for the mere fact that they are the ones that can help build the towns, they're the ones that can help create the jobs. If we reduce their taxes, they can increase their pay, expansion, and they can stay viable in an ever-competing market. So that's one thing that I really want to work for, letting the businesses do what they want to do, not completely, but with less regulation, less taxes, let them stay viable in an ever-changing market. Last part is vehicle registration, which drives me nuts. Paying taxes on a used car, I think, is just idiotic. But we'll save face and let them keep their taxes. But I don't want to see. I basically don't want to pay the extreme amount of money for registering a vehicle every so often. Where essentially the businesses that give the inspections don't make any money, and they're just doing it just to pass laws that are really kind of ridiculous in the first place. Especially the mandatory insurance laws. I don't know if anyone's ever been involved in a hit and run. Did the insurance laws save you then? What are they there for? Money. That's what it really boils down to. So that's just a few things on the taxes and how we can reform that. I'll skip that part because I know taxes are boring for everybody. They bore me. But obviously there's a lot of issues going on in Missouri, period, in the nation. Especially when it comes to a lot of civil justice issues. And one thing that we got to look at, I mean, it really opened my eyes going to Missouri, or up in Ferguson, seeing what was going on right there. There is an issue that we got to look at. I think what it boils down to is holding police accountable, just like we're holding them. And I think one thing that we have to do is provide independent investigations outside of the police department that are convicted of police brutality. I think that'll really drop down the amount of corruption that can have it. It'll give people a fair and open, honest view into what actually happened. And I think that can actually hold the police a little bit more responsible for what they do on a day-to-day basis. What I really want to try to do, especially on a state level, is protect us from the federal government as much as we can, especially when it comes to marriage equality. Ideally, I would like to get government out of marriage, and I would like to fight for sovereignty within the state of Missouri to just get government out of it. But in the meantime, we have promise under the U.S. Constitution and Missouri State Constitution that everyone has the promise to pursue life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. So until then, I mean, we have to keep the federal government out of what dictates marriage and let the laws be at a state level. And so what I really want to try to fight for is getting marriage equality at a state level where no matter what happens on the federal level, we're good. I really want to end civil asset forfeiture on a state level. Absolutely. I've seen it tons of times where they don't even have to be convicted of a crime before their crime is taken. With that said, I want to end all policing for profit. It's gone to the point where they will literally take stuff just because they need the money and the revenue. I mean, they don't even have to be convicted of anything before it's done. So that absolutely has to end. I've seen it. One of my favorite properties in the world was taken from it because of this. So it's something that I really don't like, and it has an effect on everybody. The community suffers. They lost tons of tax revenue, and all it is now is a state park that's using our resources now. Something I would have gladly paid $100 a day for, and pay the taxes for it. And obviously, I work with United Cannabis. I want to work towards marijuana reform at a state level, and again, build protection against the federal government. So no matter what happens on their level, no matter what they decide, we got to create laws to protect our laws. So no matter what we decide as a state, we have to remain sovereign from the federal overreach that is going on in the state. So that's one thing that we got to work for. We got to work on building our own state sovereignty. Make sure that our laws are recognized above any federal laws the way that it's supposed to be. And that's one thing that I really want to try to do, especially on that. Again, just an overreach. I want to end the FDA regulations on vapor. That's ridiculous. They're telling us we cannot use vapor products, which is actually safer than cigarettes. Being regulated now by the FDA. I want to somehow figure out a way we could get this on a state level where we don't have to worry about FDA restrictions. I just can't trust I can't trust an entity that tells me it's okay to eat 2/3 of a rat, but not okay to smoke pot. So that's where I'm at with the FDA. I really want to really get rid of their decision. I know we have until 2022 now, which is a good thing that we got that extended. But I want to again create the markets, allow small businesses, allow small people that run these vapor stores that we had to shut down half of them because of the scare. I want to see businesses grow. I don't want to see them run out of time. So that's where I'm at. So far on some of the short positions that I got there. Yeah, questions for me? Just ask me afterwards. So thank you guys.
Mr. Cecil Answer, you're next. And then Sean, and then Jake.
Good afternoon. I'm Cecil Lentz, for those who don't know. For the past several months, and probably a lot longer than that, I've seen the problems that many of us have. I ran for county commissioner in 2016, and I spoke out about many of the issues we face here in Greene County. I set out on a campaign not to just win an election, but to inform Greene County voters of the issues that need to be resolved. Since then, much has come to light, and the news media has reported it. We wait for the state auditor to complete its audit, and we wait for the Ethics Commission to conclude their investigation. I am concerned about these issues and many more, which is why today I officially announced my candidacy for the state senator, the 30th Missouri State Senate District, which covers the entire city of Springfield. And this has been my home most of my life. I have seen firsthand the many issues that we struggle with on a daily basis. From the homelessness to unemployment, issues that one side wants government to fix and the other side wants the other side that states that individuals should fix. Now I want to stand with you on whatever side you're on. I will listen to your concerns and I will work to find a solution that derives from the people to ensure our liberty. Our state motto is, let the good of the people be the supreme law. Is this true today? Or has the state law become the oppressor of the people? I would hope that the good of the people would be the rule over the state. Call me optimistic. I still have faith that the people can govern themselves. Call me idealistic. I still hold that the people should govern the state. As it states in the Missouri Constitution, the Bill of Rights, Article 1, Section 1, that all political power is vested in and derives from the people. That all government of right originates from the people, is founded upon their will only, and is instituted solely for the good of the whole. We are Missourians, and it should not be two separate entities that make up our state. It seems that it's the government and the people, when it should be we the people. People in conflict with the state, almost certainly. People struggle to pay real estate taxes in fear of losing their homes. Or those who are dissatisfied with voting because the state always seems to ignore the voters in the minority. Some of the problems we face have grown faster than the population. Now all of us are concerned with one issue or another, engaging in debates over morning coffee. Where one person supports our law enforcement while the other is concerned that the current laws do current laws do little to assure the highest standard of police conduct. It is not my intent to entertain wordy debates without resolution. Just like you, I want solutions. The state of our state's economy is constantly debated on the floor of the state Senate, and we, as well as the state House. Let the great ideas that seem to to either go one of two ways. The bill dies on the floor, or it passes in interest of the party with the majority. They claim the unemployment rate is 3.5%, and I'm willing to bet that it's much higher with all the undocumented homeless transients. Missouri's income tax is 1.5% to 6%. State sales tax is 4.225%. Nationally, we rank low in the healthcare and in crime. Missourians want solutions, not politics. Currently, we have been having many issues and debates in Jefferson City, many that average Missourians would say has nothing to do with them. I can understand this. When it comes to issues such as the governor and his hairdresser or ethics reform, I realize that the important issue vary from person to person. The most non-concerning issue might end up being tomorrow's biggest issue, or today's political headlines will become irrelevant in the morning. But your voice and your concerns are important. Your life, your liberty, your property matter. Therefore, I want to be your voice in Jefferson City. And as an average citizen looking up there to Jefferson City, it looks like politics as usual. Politicians taking our money and spending it on some new program, and lobbyists giving money to politicians for that bill that will benefit their cause. Well, it is not good enough. Missourians want jobs, Missourians want education, Missourians want freedom. It is not good enough to regulate hair braiding when the homeless man can't get an ID because he doesn't have an address. It is not good enough that the state licensed police are not regulated when the state of Missouri takes the home of a recently deceased elderly woman because Medicaid paid for the last day of life. It is not good enough to have elected officials accused of misappropriations of public funds when a Vietnam vet is losing his home because he is unable to pay the taxes on his home. Now, let me make one thing clear. I am not challenging the system, nor am I accusing anyone of failure to serve the people. I am sure that there is an earnest desire in those in office to provide for the good of the people. But their approach to solving these issues is a problem, and the basic disagreement in philosophy. They are dedicated to a belief in the rule of administration with more and more control and regulations of the economy and of our lives. This approach leaves many Missourians feeling that the lack of representation. With 34 seats in the state Senate, all should be a voice of liberty for the people of Missouri, which is why I'm hoping to be the next senator for the 30th district. Today's generation is held hostage by the outdated tax policy from the 1930s. Should not the people be free to work, and does not employment stimulate the economy? Maybe we should be asking the question instead of continuing to repeat the same mistakes repeatedly. Should we require hair braiders to be a licensed profession? Maybe it is time to rethink our property taxes to see if we might not be clinging to an outdated idea. Why should Missouri homeowners continue to pay year after year rent to keep the home they are supposed to own? What happens to elderly and disabled or military vets where the government benefits is not enough to keep their home, or the cost of medications is too high where they can't pay their property taxes and they choose to pay their property taxes and do without food for the month? Do we just ignore the tragedies of these citizens discovering they can no longer afford their lives in the homes in which they grew up, want to grow old in? Missourians deserve solutions to these problems today. If taxes are too high, then they're too high for all of us. Some may contest this. And when tax burdens those in low income, the tax is too high. When the price of food goes up, it affects us all. There is a limit to what can be accomplished, and laws and regulations. And adding more laws won't solve this problem. Many laws should be repealed altogether. I am not a career politician, and I have never held public office, but I am a citizen and I am a Missourian. As of now, I am a candidate seeking the Libertarian nomination for State Senate in the August primary. In the months ahead, I will be campaigning in the general election in November. I will be reaching out to everyone, Libertarian, Republican, Democrat, Independent, during this campaign, and I hope to earn your support and your vote. Thank you.
Thanks for coming down.
Nope, that down is.
Is he a candidate?
First off, thank you for inviting me down. It's been, I think, 2010 since I was last in Springfield for a Libertarian event. It's been when my wife, Sissy Spraggins, was running for U.S. Senate, and this was one of her favorite places to come down to because there was such great support for her kids. She wasn't elected U.S. Senator following that, which is not surprising because Libertarians usually don't win those sorts of races. But she gave it a good shot. I'm here to talk today a little bit about some of the races that we potentially can win. I'm a candidate for the state auditor race in the state of Missouri this year. I've been a candidate for state auditor before. This is my fourth time running for statewide office in Missouri. I'm hoping that some of the younger Libertarians that are coming up will take the reins and begin to run for these offices. The way that it works, I think most of you know, we have to see 2% in any one race every 4-year election cycle in order to remain on the ballot. And so what ends up happening is we end up, out of fear, running statewide races when in reality, the best places we could be doing good is at the local level. And I want to talk a little bit about the local level and also about what the auditor's role is in local politics in Missouri and why, of all statewide offices, I think it's the office that Libertarians should occupy for years to come in all states. First off, a little bit about myself. I've been a card-carrying Libertarian since 2002, a Missouri resident since 2004. I'm treasurer of the Missouri State Party, have been since I believe 2011. I also have a role at the national level as an alternate on the Libertarian National Committee that comes to an end this summer, for which I don't really want to do again. I've done it twice. And, I would really rather concentrate on things here in Missouri and in Kansas City, where I live. But talking about local politics in general, this is an area where Libertarians have begun to make some traction. The numbers are impressive when you put them out there and say we have X number of people in office. Unfortunately, there are 500,396 locally elected politicians across the United States. We have 220 of them, which is nice. It's 0.045% of the total, but it's the area where we've really begun to excel. We have, at the state level, we also have 4 elected. We have 3 state reps and 1 state senator. So a total of 223 Libertarians across the United States. impressive is we have 43 re-elected libertarians, which means we're doing something right. We're getting into office and we're seeking the voters' approval to come back a second time, and they're saying yes. So we're doing something right. In all, we have representation in 36 states now. We have elected officials in 36 states. We have a smattering of a total of 87 members of city and town councils, all the way down to our smallest numbers. We have one state senator, we have a town supervisor. We don't have a dog catcher. I've always said libertarians should start out by running for dog catcher. There, in fact, that I'm aware of, there is only one elected dog catcher in the United States. That's in Duxbury, Vermont. If there's a libertarian out there in Duxbury, Vermont, I want that person to become a dog catcher. I want to be able to say, we got the dog catcher. But local office. Why is local office important? Well, most of us were impacted by federal legislation in broad ways. We pay a lot of taxes. Our businesses may be impacted by immigration laws and that sort of thing. But looking around the room, I don't see anybody here who's going to be deported anytime soon. We're not directly impacted by federal legislation. Well, maybe.
Good luck. Good
I
luck.
have one more year.
Yes. But the vast majority of us in our lifetimes will be impacted by local ordinances, local politicians and local government bureaucrats that are at the, I don't want to be offensive, but at the absolute bottom end of knowledge of the law. Clearly, it's a stepping stone. At the local level, people become involved in government either as an employee or as an elected official, and they typically know nothing about government at that point in time. It's all uphill from there. But if you're going to, as an average citizen of the country, if someone is going to violate your rights, it's going to be at the local level. If someone is going to pass an ordinance that is later found to be unconstitutional, it's going to be at the local level in almost all cases. So putting libertarians in these local roles can only help. Libertarians, because we come to this by principle, not by necessarily politics, we tend to have a greater understanding of what's just and what's right, and oftentimes what the law is in our communities. And for that reason, I think we should all be looking at local office, whether it's appointed office, whether it's commissions and boards, that sort of thing, or whether it's elected office, city council, mayor, whatever. So those are the sorts of offices we should be running for. So why do I stand up here as a candidate for state auditor and talk about local office? Well, the state auditor is sometimes the only way of catching what's wrong at the local level. Greene County is a great example of that right now. You're trying to petition to bring a audit in from the state auditor's office that will suggest what the problems in Greene County might be. They don't have the power to change anything. They can make suggestions, but they can also, if they find illegal irregularities in how legally how processes are being done, they can pass that information off to federal or state prosecutors, and their history of doing so is sound. Just virtually every time that the state auditor's office has passed something to authorities that can actually act on legal grounds, changes are made. It's a very good process. The independence of the auditor is critically important, of course. We've had auditors in the past who have used the office as a stepping stone, probably more than any other statewide office, because it's the off-year election office. It's always, you've got governors, lieutenant governors, secretary of state, attorney general, and treasurer elected in the same year that we elect president, and then we have auditor elected in the off years. And so it's a natural stepping stone, which is really a shame, because ultimately we end up with people in office that know nothing about what they're doing. It's just simply a placeholder for them so they can try to run for Senate, governor, what have you. I can assure you that if elected state auditor, I'm not looking ahead as to what comes after that. I would save my time and get out of the way for the next person to come in. Some might also be concerned that I don't have auditor experience. I'm not a licensed CPA. That's really okay. The auditor does not go out and do audits. The auditor coordinates who they're going to audit and helps to assess the findings, and also sits on various commissions at the state level that there's certain boards and such that it makes sense for the auditor to be on, and they are one of these boards. So essentially, what does an independent or libertarian candidate bring to the table? Well, a lot of states, state offices and local offices are run by people who may not have been elected as Democrats or Republicans because of the nature of the office, but they in fact are very strongly Democrats or Republicans. We've seen it in Greene County, we've seen it in Springfield, certainly seen it in Kansas City and St. Louis, our surrounding communities. In those cases, it's very difficult to imagine that the state auditor would press hard for serious reform of members of the same party. And also, the other side of that is when they're running for, when they're using this office as a stepping stone to move to Senate, governor, what have you, they don't want to step on their toes along the way. And if you upset the apple cart in St. Louis, no matter what your party, you're not going to get help from St. Louis in your efforts to become the next U.S. Senator or whatever your goals are. And that worries me. We have too many people, as I said, who have used this as a stepping stone. I don't know if that's the case of our current state auditor. She hasn't been in office long enough to really know. But I've certainly seen it in the past with others that have served in that spot. So simply from the standing of what who's the best independent candidate to look over these governments, but a libertarian. We at some point in time, if libertarians are running every local community, which I would love to see, then we're probably not the right people to be doing all the audits. But until then, I think we are in that role. We can only help to make certain that the laws are followed in these communities, and that the processes that are dictated by state constitution are followed. And there's just not particular graft and waste and corruption that we see so often. So, as you can probably tell, I'm preparing my pitch for running for state auditor. There are a lot of rambling thoughts here. I'm still working on this, and I appreciate your patience as I work through this. This will probably culminate in terms of speeches of this nature late in the month of May in Omaha, Nebraska. There's what's called the Convention, which is being put together by the Libertarians of Omaha and a couple other areas. They're looking for sponsorship from other states in the region. Ron Paul is speaking at this event. It's going to be quite the big event. And I'm speaking on this very topic, the topic of local government and what we can do as libertarians to take a greater role in local government and such. And so I'm still formulating my thoughts on how we get there. So if you want to see the better version of this speech, come to the end.
Also February.
February at the state convention. Oh, I should have it polished a little bit by then. And at the Libertarian Mixer on the 13th of February. If you really want to have this drilled into you, you can come to that.
Where's that?
That is at Tiff and Jay's, which is a bar and grill in Leeds Summit, Missouri, a suburb of Kansas City. Get together at 6:30, typically on the second or third Tuesday of the month. In this case, it is the 13th of the month, which someone else do the math. It's the second Tuesday of February. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Who's that guy? Oh, it's
Good afternoon. I'm excited to be here at the very first Libertarian event
anyway. Okay. So as you know, I am running for United States Senate, running against Claire McCaskill and whoever the Republicans will send. We're presuming Josh Hawley, but who knows? We don't know what's going to happen there. But this has been a crazy year, and it started out that we were wondering, speaking of Josh Hawley, you also have Austin Peterson, we were wondering, what's Austin going to do this year? And so I know that Ben Brixey, Steve Legg, Chris Burrows, they all were talking to me, and kind of my, what do you call it, a committee for figuring out if you're going to do it, whatever this technical name is for that. And so we were talking about it, and they were encouraging me, and I was a little on the fence about it, and just kept pushing and pushing, and I felt like finally decided this was the right thing to do, run for United States Senate. So that's what we're doing. But here's some stats that I just saw this month in a poll from the public policy polling of 37% Democrats, 34% Republican, 29% Independent. Pretty much the poll was asking between Claire McCaskill and Josh Hawley. That was the only option that they received in this poll. So it's pretty much a two-party race, two-person race. And in the poll, only 28% of voters in the state said that they want a senator who is loyal to Donald Trump and wants to promote his agenda. Only 28% want someone, and in this case would be Josh Hawley. Only 28% want somebody that's going to be like him. And then they said 64% said they would prefer someone who's an independent. They actually used the word independent. They didn't say Claire McCaskill or a Democrat or anything like that. They said independent and someone who will put Missouri first. And with 8% not sure. And then another question on that poll, only 44% of voters had a favorable opinion of Claire McCaskill. Only 44%. And 44% unfavorable, and 12% not sure. So I took the number of 64% who said they don't want someone that's with Trump, and subtracted the 44% that said they like McCaskill, and you come up with 20% that are still looking for an independent or someone else to run for Senate. And then you take the 8%, the 12% that said they're not sure, you got 28%, the 32% potential voters, 28% matches the 28% that want Donald Trump. So, I mean, there is an opportunity, I think, right now, just like we saw in 2016. Everybody's upset about the two-party system. Same thing's going in Missouri right now in the Senate, especially because Trump, he's really helping with that. So thank you, Donald Trump, for making this situation for me of a potential opportunity for something to happen. So I think we have an opportunity right now to do something for libertarian, for the liberty movement, and like that. So what I just want to talk about, well, this is really touching. I just want to talk about my why. Why I'm running for United States Senate. And the Jackson County folk, they've already experienced part of this talk and this slideshow. But why am I running for Senate? Is it just because of the numbers, or because I just want to get up there and be all cool and get in the Senate and be able to say, hey, I'm a senator? Why am I running for Senate? I think the most important thing about your why is your why should make you cry. Your why should make you cry. And I'm going to say that some of these things, depending on how it is, gets me emotional. And Ned and all those that were there in Jackson, they know I got a little emotional when we were going through some of these things. So your why, the reason why you do something, should make you cry. And so this is my why right here, my first why. This is my nieces. My nephew, got a new nephew. He's not pictured because he was just born just a couple of months ago. So I got two nieces, two nephews, right there in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, right in front of the Liberty Bell. Good place to be, good place to take a picture with children. But I would say that is my number one why, with my nieces and nephew, my why for running for Senate. Because during the 2016 election, when we had everything with Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton, during that time period, my brother and his family had to live with me here in Springfield. They moved from Pennsylvania temporarily, and we're here. So I got to experience life with my nieces and my nephew while the whole world was in turmoil with the election going on. and I began to see how does politics, how does things going on in the world affect the situation in the lives of children. How do you explain to them all these things that are happening, all the words that some people say, talking about some countries being an outhouse? How do you explain to these children what's going on? And so my why is I began to think about my nieces and nephew. What kind of future in this country do they have? What kind of future do they have to look forward to? Think about Social Security. It's questionable whether or not Social Security is going to be available for me when I retire. But I'm pretty sure that Social Security is not going to be there for them when they retire. What about our monetary system? About this monopoly money that the Federal Reserve keeps printing, that in a few years is going to be worth nothing. The economy is going to go to pot, and do they have a future? No. And so my why is I'm running because I believe I'm a good uncle. I'm trying to be, Bernie Sanders, what was he, the grandpa? He was everybody's grandpa. Well, I'm going to try to be the good uncle to all the children of America to make sure that they have a future that they can look forward to. So my why is those kids right there. My why is for the children of America that I'm running so that they can have a future. The second reason is to take the power back. Take back the power. When I was in high school, I learned in U.S. history about the Constitution, about the 10th Amendment, about how the federal government was never made to be huge, never made to be all-controlling. The federal government was supposed to have limited power, and the power was supposed to take place from the grassroots and come up. The power was supposed to come from the people up to those in elected positions. And so when I realized that and saw how our government and our country was being run, I realized in high school that we got to get the power back to the people. I said if I ever get a chance to run and to do something at a federal level, I will do that, to try to take back the power for the people. Because the 10th Amendment says that all responsibilities that are not listed within the Constitution, they belong to the states, but ultimately they belong to the people. And so I want to go and tell Congress that they got to stop doing things that are not in the Constitution. We got to reverse some of these things that they have done that are not in the Constitution. And we can start and give the power back to the states, but ultimately give the power back to the people. So I'm running to take back the power. There was a second thing I learned in U.S. history when I was in high school. I began to read through history, began to see the narrative of United States history and see the beauty early on of immigrants coming to America. And you know what? Donald Trump and everyone said, make America great again. What made America great? Immigration. People coming and mixing together in the great mixing pot, the great boiling pot, and coming together to make America great. Irish immigrants, immigrants from all over coming, being the backbone of America. Immigration is what made America great. And I truly believe that. And then I began to see, as we went through the narrative of history, that we started to put quotas on who could come here from different countries. And I began to realize, as I saw those numbers, that there were certain people that we did not want to come to America. There were certain races, certain religions that we no longer wanted to allow to come to America. And it's kind of like that today. We want people from Norway, but we don't want people from Haiti or Nigeria. There's that idea even today that we don't want certain people here. And so I'm running because I believe what makes America great is people coming and working together to make this society even better than it is. People from all over the world. I believe that we need to let people come to America. So we need to work on immigration and make it freer, make it more open so that people can come to America and have a chance, because there are awesome people in Haiti that are just as awesome as people in Norway who can come and give something to America. Lady right here, you're an awesome person coming and giving to America and making this place great. Let's make America great again through immigration. And this is a very important one to me as well. You see these children, these young ladies up here, they're from Afghanistan. This young man, he's from Syria. And you know what? I'm one of those libertarians that actually believes in the non-aggression principle. I actually believe that the only time that we as a country should be aggressing on someone else is when they're aggressing on us. And we have no business going over and bombing little children like this. We have no business going over and killing little kids in the name of our own defense, in the name of our own protection, in the name of our own safety. It is not right. We have no right to go and kill people for ourselves. So I'm running for these kids all over the world. I'm running because it's time that we stop our own aggression. We are the terrorists. We are the terrorists in the world. And we got to stop it. We got to stop it. So I'm running to pull us back and to stop it. Because you know what? It's not only killing them, it's our killing our own boys and girls, our own children that we're putting into the army, that they believe in their mind that they're doing something to protect America, but they're going out there and losing a leg. They're going out there being killed in the name of America, in the name of safety, when it has nothing to do with our safety. So I'm running for those kids right there and kids here in America. Out there on the table, we got the Declaration of Independence. This Declaration of Independence, what does it say? And I'm running for what it says, because the Declaration says that all men. What does that mean? That means all, everyone, all over the world. It wasn't just talking about people that lived in the colonies. They realized that it was important that all are created equal. They realized it doesn't matter your gender. It doesn't matter your race. It doesn't matter your religion. It doesn't matter your opinions. It doesn't matter your social standing. It doesn't matter your economic class. All are created equal. And I believe that all have the God-given right of life, liberty, property, and the pursuit of happiness. That is why I'm running. Because I believe in an America, as Dr. King has said, where little boys and little girls of blacks and whites can join hands and walk down the street together and be friends, be brothers and sisters, the way we were made to be. I'm running because I believe that all are created equal. That's why I'm running for Senate. Is there enough reasons? Well, as I go up there, if I go up there, hopefully we go up there, there's like 100 people up there, and I'd be one out of 100. And they're pretty much split. So you ask, what can you do? What can you do to change things? Well, I believe it's like being a candle, because it's the message. We can make a change by being the message, the light. When you take a big gymnasium that is pitch black, or a cave, out going into caverns, if it's pitch black, you can take a small candle, and that candle, that light will pierce the darkness. And that light can be seen throughout the cave, throughout the cavern, throughout the gymnasium. And I believe that when we take this message, even one person with a little light, with the message of freedom, the message of liberty, can begin to make a change, and that light can begin to shine into the darkest places of our country and can make a change. But you know what? It's not just about me. I'm not the only one. Each and every person here is a candle. Each and every person here is a light. And as you go and spread the message, not only light yourself, you begin to light one other person and another person. And the light and the message begins to spread. You know, there was a Rasmussen poll that said over 50% has said they have voted for an independent candidate. Can you imagine if we just keep lighting those candles and spreading that message? Eventually that over 50% will come together, and we can have a change in America. We can have liberty. We can have freedom in America. So I ask you today to be one of these candles, because it's not just me. It's all about everyone. So be one of these candles. Join the team. Join the campaign. You can talk to me. Talk to Chris Burrows. If you're in Kansas City, you can talk to Ned, and he'll get you in touch with us. And we can do something. We can canvass. We can call. But we're going to make a change. If we don't win it, that's okay, because they're going to know we were here. And they're going to see the light in the darkness. And so as Dr. King said, let freedom ring. But that is my message. As we take that candle into the darkness, let freedom ring. Thank you very much.
We want to break or go straight into Greg?
Quick break, I gotta go potty.
What's your Gmail?
SLECKII at Gmail.
Okay.
Yeah, I gotta get. It's a bummer. I want to hear Greg. I need to roll out of here. I'm glad I got to hear Greg basically last night. So I got to come to all of the events with Greg. So I really want to check out New Orleans 2018.
We're on our way. Oh man,
we're working on it, man. We're making a difference, making a change.
Thank you very much.
You said you'd gone to one of the
Yes, it was in September.
I think it had a been.
You see that? You see what I'm saying?
But he gets all animated.
No, you actually look on the white.
Oh, is it or not? I've been told it looked like a radar from MASH.
You don't have the facial expression when Ted Cruz smiles.
That's true.
He's kind of mellow.
I think he is, yeah. But I think that was one of the monsters that I couldn't go.
September, yeah.
Yeah, because I typically actually work in evening shifts, and I had gone on disability leave for some reason at work, so I was actually able to go to a bunch of these meetings.
Oh.
And then now I have those days scheduled off Tuesday for school, and so my class typically, like, for example, just got out for last week at like 6:40, and typically we can go over some quick things, you know. So I was able to quickly rush over from school over to this meeting and then come out after there.
Yeah.
So I've been going to those when I can.
Yeah. Well, the Christmas party was pretty good. Well, we had fun there. The Christmas one, I came down. Oh, sorry, came up. Okay, y'all came down. I came up.
The Christmas one, I think you did.
You gave me a book. Yeah, we all stood out and talked about video games.
Right, exactly. Yeah, I wasn't sure.
That's okay. I was kind of laid back. No, it was really good. Ned made a YouTube video of the one in September.
They're already stealing our
I
ideas.
think that was or no,
yeah, I gotta go.
Win that game.
Yeah, we should.
Yeah, so yeah.
Yeah, it's I've got actually tying it to I've got a friend who lives in Ukraine at Donetsk, and 4 years ago when the war really was going heavy rather than ceasefire and then going out, I would be talking with him, maybe we're playing games or not, and suddenly kaboom in the background. He's like, oh, hang on, the Ukrainian government's bombing us again. Yeah. And he's gotten very cynical about it. He says, you know what video games and movies teach you? Explosions in those are nothing like they are in real life. They're too mellow. Or he said, is the best part about living in a war-torn city is you get really good internet because no one lives here.
As long as they don't bomb the connection.
He doesn't have that happen to him. That was when he was in Mariupol instead of Donetsk.
Wow.
Yeah, it said it's very easy to not understand how war affects people if you don't have a connection.
Yeah.
And I I'm sure you've probably seen this video, the Ron Paul armed Chinese troops in Texas.
No, I don't think I have. I
It's
need to see
really,
that.
really good
Yeah.
one. It's basically saying the logic of U.S. forces being in countries and how these people why does China, Russia have troops?
Okay, now I actually did.
Across Texas. It's the same logic.
Yeah, we don't want them here. Why do they usually want us there?
And yes, I have my friend there, and hearing the explosion in the background and him saying, "Oh, an IED went off 200 yards away from my house," and stuff like that. It really puts things in perspective.
Yeah, man, I couldn't imagine that. I remember one time, because years back, I was part of a hip hop website. I did hip hop. Anyway,
You did hip hop?
yeah, I do rap.
It's just another layer of Javen.
There's so many layers. I was featured on a Dr. Dre playlist, so yeah, I'm like, there's so little few secrets in my life.
Oh my gosh. Who do I allow my
Anyway, there was
husband
a
to
girl
hang out with?
from Iran, and so when I found out she's from Iran, I got really worried. I'm like, I don't want to say anything in chat. So I figured, oh, the Iranian government or whatever, probably watching me. I didn't want to say anything, get her killed, you know? So, I mean, it came very uncomfortable. If I didn't say anything, I think probably because like, I don't want to chat with somebody. Like, I might say something and get them killed. Like, if I start asking a person about it, I don't want to get that person killed.
Yeah, my friend, he'd also told me he had seen he left his computer there. Pretty much everything. He didn't have space for it.
So it's kind of like, well, maybe you can use over with real quick.
So he told me that rebel stocks, they might constrict him on the spot.
Oh, yeah.
Well, like the secretary.
They might think he's fighting his mail, he might be able to spy. So he had to send his parents to go and grab his stuff.
Oh, yeah, he's trying to get to Kansas City. I don't think he's ever going to get there. He's supposed to go up there. He's supposed to be in a soccer game up there like at 6:30 in Kansas City.
It's only 2:40.
Oh, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah, he's got time. He's even got time to stop at Osceola Cheese.
We stopped there on the way here.
Yes. It's the best place on earth. I took my friend Nikki there. She'd never been, and like she was so cute. The whole time she's like, oh yeah, like the whole place was giggling at her.
You guys want anything? And they're like, well, it might, be too warm or so to keep it,
Yeah.
Still, free cheese. I'm gonna buy the cheese.
Right.
Gonna turn down free cheese.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Oh, there's been many times I've gone in there and just gotten the free samples and left, and just not bought anything.
I don't think I've ever bought anything there.
I used to go to Costco with
Tried everything.
my mom just to go get the free samples.
Right? Exactly.
I'm so ghetto.
Ghetto as hell.
I'm being ghetto. That's going ghetto, you know.
Right.
Or going to Krispy
Well,
Kreme and
it's
getting your
true
free
though.
donut.
Like if you go to
Funny
Kansas
thing, I went
City.
to Krispy Kreme.
Oh, Krispy
Lonnie,
Kreme.
she lives off down there. I don't even know where she went. Lonnie and Mary just but Lonnie lives down in Gardner, so it's kind of a drive to go up to Sean's house so we go carpool.
Oh.
So she had her roommate drop her off at Krispy Kreme near my house.
Be safe.
I went to
Be
pick
safe
her up
driving,
there,
Ben.
picked up a dozen donuts and then drove to Sean's.
Did they give you a free one?
I'm not sure if you have to ask
Right?
for it, but it was warm. They gave me like a little piece of it. I'm not sure if I had to ask though.
It looks somewhat a bit off of this one.
They're only good if they're piping hot. Other than that,
Everything they pulled out was directly
Yeah.
from the.
I prefer St. George's.
They're pretty good.
I don't think I've had it before. Is that a Missouri thing or?
I think it might be. I'm not sure.
Is it just around here?
I don't know. They're really good.
I've heard there's a donut shop in Topeka that was everything was handmade before. It was really, really good, but when the owner died, his son, I guess he didn't really like the handmade aspect, or he didn't like to do that, so he started, he liked the more business management side, so instead of being a baker, he kind of just automated a bunch of stuff, and it's no longer as good. It's the same recipe, it's just, you know, it's, but if you know, when a baker handmakes something, it's a little different.
Yeah. That's sad.
But I heard is before it used to be a lot better, and now it's about one part.
St. George's, they're real crispy. Like they're just a really good. He likes Hertz, but I don't like Hertz. We're gonna be like around the corner from it in 2 weeks.
There's we lost all our money.
In Kansas, we had an LP meeting at this winery off in the middle of nowhere, like way on the edge of 3rd District. But it was relevant to why we go there because our talk, we had one of the board of directors from Hy-Vee there, and they were talking about how alcohol laws in Kansas affect Hy-Vee, and the goal would be basically the thing is to drum up support for making some of the alcohol restrictions go away, because Kansas actually has some of the toughest alcohol restrictions in the country, where...
Yes, they do. I've played concerts there, and it sucks.
Yes. Yes.
How do they restrict it? Like,
it's weird. Like Kansas is.
We have tax.
They will not. They stop selling at like 11.
Yeah.
But the bars sell to like 2 or 3.
Yep. We also have an additional tax, so pretty much if I've been at parties before because I live in Kansas City. People, what do they do? Is drive over to Missouri, buy alcohol, and come back, even though that's technically illegal because you're not supposed to bring that across state lines. But people do it all the time. And I mean, if they really wanted to crack down on it, they could be like, tell Missouri store owners that have this sell alcohol saying, well, hey, when you check the ID and it says Kansas, don't sell to them. But I don't think they're going to, because probably people would be too up in arms about it.
well, that and they're gonna lose a lot of money.
Yeah. They lose a lot of tax.
That's great.
And then I know is certain types of alcohol are not allowed to be sold in stores like Hy-Vee and such. And certain paraphernalia and stuff that will sometimes go with alcohol is not allowed to be sold in the same like stores and such. So for example, there's a liquor store near my house that they have a separate store inside the store that's technically a different entity. Because and that's common in Kansas.
What do they sell in this paraphernalia?
I don't remember what it was.
That's crazy.
Like other stuff.
Like lemons and limes and salt.
I think that might be.
Oh my gosh, that is so stupid.
Additionally, unless you have to jump through a bunch of hoops to do this, but you cannot own more than one liquor store. You can technically you jump through a million hoops, but if you don't do that, you can only own one.
I guess I don't understand what the purpose of that law would be.
Less liquor stores. The successful liquor stores will be opening up new ones.
So it's basically sneaky prohibition.
Oh, and up from 1870 to 1940 something, Kansas had complete alcohol prohibition. Longest state to have it. And then up until the 1980s, there was alcohol was not allowed to be sold in pretty much most stores. You had to go to basically speakeasies, bars, etc., stuff like that.
I love it.
To actually get alcohol.
It's crazy. That is so silly. That was great. Yeah, no.
And then in Kansas, you have a additional alcohol tax. Like I'm a whiskey guy. I bought 3 handles whiskey, and that would have been around $75 to $80 maybe. Just that's the normal price because whiskey's going to exist. I paid additional $30 in tax. So I paid for a fourth of a handle of whiskey.
Wow, Bernie or whatever that Norton's.
Wow.
And that tax is not special.
Do they require cash deposits on cans? Some places it's like 10 cents a can. So, like if you buy a case, you pay an extra $3.
Oh, so it's like the somewhat similar to the BS law with sugar and
Yeah. Well, they're trying to be nice, they'll give you your money back if you take it.
Oh, that.
I'm not a politician.
I've heard of something like that.
I don't know if you guys have that.
Did you see what Costco do this?
They're
selling the pallets with the Gatorade accessory. They're saying this is Costco price. So like $10.99 for what like a 24 pack of like 16 ounces. And it's like state tax, $15. To avoid this tax, buy off 7
It's like they'll go to Seattle and they'll have cans of stuff. You can sell like twice the market, and still it's cheaper than paying this. It's like, that's genius. I wish I would have done it.
I don't know how good that poll is, but come on, I mean, there's a good opportunity.
And there's a lot of dry counties. It's not the largest concentration of dry counties, but there's a map and you can see it's like no restrictions, partial restrictions, and complete restrictions, I believe partial, like yellow, and complete red. It's almost like 50% of Kansas County has some form of restriction, whether it's minor or severe. And I know my family owns about 300 acres of land off here.
I was afraid it'd pop up. Like we did the other, this is the kind of bigger.
I know it's
Like,
dry.
Yeah. Yeah, I know there's snow liquid.
It's large and close. Even though they sell food, they're just closed.
that's the place you get those filet mignons.
We have a Kansas City steak company.
That's my official statement.
I tried.
And also, they have to make sure people use all the space. Also, next to Kansas. Southwest of Kansas over I actually changed position. Yes, I work which requires see how the TSA's rules.
Oh, yeah.
How arbitrary they are.
We're supposed to go up there for Jake in February.
We're also when we're over here, we'll play off. Let's just don't need a bag of any of this. We can also put package in a bag.
The ice was getting kind of melty.
Yeah, they're tearing down part of the building. Further. They must care about that, and the care about area is completely in the area, but that's by UPS's discretion. The area was added to so it's individual say don't be here unless you
Well, peace out.
Searching the lost
a lot of cases around local licensing laws. They say the disparity is most pronounced when you really look at it across the state. One state has absolutely no licensing law, another state requires thousands of dollars a year. Okay, wait a second, is this state denying that alone is a good example of the disparity. It has some wonderful. I'm curious as you look at, say, Missouri, what are the things that you're opposed to? 30 seconds. As you look around Missouri.
Yeah, I've gone further down rather than
Well, one of the things that I'd like to see is
I got lucky. Kind of go back to the bottom.
one thing election judge, it always seems to be, I'm like, wait a minute, that's not your back. Yeah, and actually, we're talking about even that, that's something.
Stickers. Because you fell asleep.
All right, let's see, we got anybody outside? So he just stepped around the corner. There's that.
Basically, in various cities around the state, they're run as, say, very strong Democratic power bases where you didn't want to fund.
We're here till about 5 o'clock. 2 hours.
Citizenship battle. You license so that you want to get together with the state.
This is my bed, baby. It's the old one.
And how can they go?
It just. Who's your carrier? USA.
And I'll just shoot you down. We need a.
Well, they gave me a good deal on the. They're giving me a $10 bill credit, which is basically going to take a $100 iPhone down for
Democratic.
So, I mean, there might be one chunk.
No, they want $10 more. I would have to have that hotspot. Just tether. Let alone wire. Tether.
So we got a problem.
You know,
Well, you're saying.
do a cellular
You can't say you made the money.
But it's
okay. But it's not part of our law.
Okay, fine.
So basically, the
city, the state's okay.
This was the ethics commissioner's amendment was appointed by James. There are laws already established I don't know that they.
All right, people.
Hearing, hearing.
Executive Director, Chairman, President, Executive Director, term. Yeah, we appreciate your work, trust me. He's here to talk. I'm glad that we have him here. And Kansas City, is it just Jackson County or Johnson?
Johnson and Johnson.
Okay, I'll just say Kansas City, and yeah, we'll include everything that's, in that big circle.
Within the city.
The same with St. Louis, when I say St. Louis, it's all that stuff that's up there in the blog. So,
Does that include St. Joe?
Kansas City area.
Yeah. Well, we call this Southwest Missouri, so, and that includes the whole corner, from Joplin over to West Plains is getting a little far. But anyway, this whole corner we call Southwest Missouri. So that's what we used to call ourselves, Southwest Missouri Libertarians. And in a sense, we still are, because we're so few and far between. It's hard, to get people to come to, meetings. I mean, like Nathan County over there, a couple over. Anybody there? I never told. It's kind of a simple place here in Springfield that they can come to. And I've been to Joplin a couple of times in the past with Tom Harmon had some meetings. And it was him and me and Brenda once. So yeah, we're few. So without further ado, Mr. Greg Tlapek.
I decided to be avuncular today. I hope you don't mind. Avuncular, isn't that a wonderful word? Avuncular, you can say it if you want. I learned that word from a college course on Hamlet. The professor used it to describe what type of advice Hamlet was getting from his uncle, Claudius. That's avuncular advice. And never mind that Claudius just killed Hamlet's father. And was telling Claudius, his advice was to Hamlet how to get over it. That aside, I'm here to offer some advice to you all, because I want libertarians to run lots of candidates. I think that's the most important thing that we can do as a political party. That is what political parties do. We run candidates. And I hit this pretty hard. It's the single most important thing that we can do as libertarians. I want to try to make it easier for you. And so I'm going to give you some avuncular advice. And the first piece of advice is also from Hamlet. And it's perhaps one of the most famous lines in the play. And it comes at the end of the speech. It's actually not technically avuncular. It's fatherly advice. This is a speech that Polonius gives to his son Laertes about how he should dress and act whenever he's going to be in Paris. And the speech ends with the line, "This above all, to thine own self be true." And so that is what you make it easier on yourself. When you want to run for office, it's be true to yourself. Say what you believe. Don't let somebody else tell you you have to raise money if you don't want to raise money. Don't let somebody else tell you you've got to walk in the parade. Don't worry when somebody says, "Well, you get my kid out of jail." Just be true to yourself. When you're in front of an audience that's not really friendly and they're asking you, what are you going to do for me? You don't have to tell them what they they want you to tell them. That's just, be truthful, be true to yourself, say what it is you mean, and whatever you are. If you find that you can't go the libertarian route, the full-fledged libertarian route, that's okay. You know, say how you feel. I think it's nice to tell people the libertarian take on this would be such and such, but really, as a libertarian, I think the most important thing for us right now is to try to find ways to get from where we are now to where it is a libertarian want to be. We're not going to get there every day. So you want to, you do want to be respectful of other people's opinions, not be abrasive, be understanding, but be true to yourself is really the biggest piece of advice I've given. But run. And why? Because you can. That is what the Libertarian Party has done for you. We offer a selling box for you to get up on. And it's not an easy thing to do, maintaining, we survive. Run because you have something to say. And you don't necessarily, turn down and talk to a lot of candidates. A lot of people who cannot run in the some people who don't want to run, who are not ready to run yet. But there, I think that most of us at some point, most of you all should at some point run for office. If you haven't already, if you're not running now. Because we really do need to run for candidates. And you're going to have to find that thing, find what it is that you want to say. The first thing is run because you can run. And I want you to go to a website now. If you would please go get on your laptops or computers, because I have compiled information, and it's available there online at lpmo.org. And I would ask you to find information there on running for office. If you would, I'm just going to wait while you all do that, please. See if you can find on our website what the information is about running for office. Well, if you don't know, really scroll down a little bit further, because there are two spots where there's kind of fine print there. You were there just a moment ago. But keep on. Go back to the home page, please.
Who maintains the website? It's not responsive on my phone. Okay.
It is sometimes on the phone, but most people can get access to a laptop. And this is really a good spot for information whenever you want to know running for office. Scroll up, would you please? Go up. Up. See. Okay, there's the first spot where you can find stuff. See, run for office down there, couple points. And now scroll up some more. There's another bunch of stuff right down here. This is where the bylaws are and information about county committees. Those are also sites that I want you to know. I want you to know that you can go to our website and find information there. Then as into the issue of having something to say. I don't, you don't have to be as good as these guys are at getting up and speaking extempore or speaking without notes. You don't have to be that passionate about it necessarily. You can still run without that. But what I have done, I would ask you to go to my website. I've got some things that I want to say, and they're on my website, electtlapek.com. Tlapek, T-L-A-P-E-K. And up the top, there's education reform, healthcare deregulation, and election reform. So those are my signature issues. think really it's good if you're going to. We had really excellent candidates. We had two candidates for the state legislature. Steve's running for state rep. Steve's running for state senate, and it's difficult to talk about state government unless you have something to say about education. And in fact, you can be assured that if you end up in a candidate forum, you're going to have to say something about education. You're going to have to answer a question about education. So it's good to be informed about it. And healthcare is the other thing that is a signature issue for me, because I feel like that is the one thing that we could do as libertarians to improve the standard of living for Missourians more than anything else would be to deregulate healthcare. And then Sean was talking about Sean running for the state auditor, what's going for the U.S. Congress, and eventually he wants to run for your U.S. Congress. He was Senate U.S. Congress, but he's run for Senate. Eventually running for U.S. Congress. And so they've got a whole different set of issues. But the education, healthcare, and then proportional representation is the thing that do with libertarian more than anything else. Sean was talking about who all's been elected, but Sean kind of spun. Sean spins. I'm not sure what the past tense to spin is. Span? Spin. Wrong. He spun. I think he spun it a little better than it actually is. If you were at the state party convention, what was the guy's name from who spoke at the state party convention? Sean. He was with Fairvote.org. The big contributor. He showed up at your house. But anyway, one of the main speakers at the state party convention. He asked us a question, which was, how many libertarians? The Libertarian Party's been around since 1971. And how many libertarians have been elected to a state legislature in states where you run only on one party's ticket? And since 1971, do you all know how many that is? Sean knows. It's one. One person since 1971 has been elected on the Libertarian Party ticket in states where they don't have fusion voting. Yeah, I thought maybe Dick Randolph, but maybe it's not very real. It was in Alaska in the 1970s. He said one. I think he was in a position. Maybe so. I thought it was too long, but whatever. Since 1971, two people elected as libertarians. I don't know what's going to change that if we don't change the way we elect people. And so that's why I passed out these flyers on proportional representation. And I think that we all need, that's the song sheet that we all need to be on. This is part of my avuncular advice. There's a guy named Ross Monchel who's running for Congress for the 6th. He lives in Kansas City. And what he said, his big thing is he's maybe one elected libertarian that I know of right now. He's been elected, I think, twice to the school board. Not partisan, but he served on the school board. And what he said was quite right. But you want to just make people like you. That's what running for office is. Just make people like you. And so that take that advice to heart. A lot of it's just listening to people. And then whatever you, if you do run for office, it's your chance to say something. And as I've gotten older, I've recognized that I don't want to get off this planet without saying what it is that I want to say. I've got something to say. And so I'm using this soapbox that is the Libertarian Party ballot access to say that. And those are my three signature issues. I really feel strongly that proportional representation is something that we should all be talking about, so that eventually it will happen. So find something. If you're going to be a candidate, something that you want to say. Figure out what it is that you want to say before you get off this plane. You aren't going to be here forever. So get it said. Make it easy on yourself. Don't make yourself, one of the things I like to tell people is there's no sense in making ourselves miserable, trying to create a society where people can pursue happiness. Just go easy on yourself. Make it as easy as you can on yourself. And you're not going to get elected to any partisan office you run for. But you have got to consider the victory just running for office. Surviving as a political party is a victory. It's not easy. It's not easy. We've been around since 1992 and other parties have come and gone. But what I think we need to do right now as a political party, we got to run candidates, and we need to develop some issues that we will get greater traction if there are a bunch of us talking about these issues. And I think the force multiplication is one of them. There isn't any reason at all why every single Libertarian candidate shouldn't have that as part of one of the things that they talk about when they want to run for office. And running for office, make the decision. Being able to run for office, it's a negotiating process. First of all, you've got to negotiate with yourself. What is it that why should I do this? Why put myself through this? And you usually got to negotiate with your spouse, too, as to why you want to run for office. And you oftentimes, if you don't, you probably should negotiate with your employer, because you don't want to lose your job when you're running for office. So it is a negotiated effort to be able to run for office. What I want us to do is to present a unified message as much as possible. On the education, let me take just a minute to give you my spiel on education. That's something that I think you've got to really talk about if you're going to state community. And basically, we are operating a model of education that predates the industrial revolution. We are well into the information age. We gather people together in the little red brick schoolhouse, and we teach them and tell them about things that they may or may not be interested in. And it's been a while since I've been in school. I acknowledge that there are efforts that are being made to acknowledge the fact that we are in the information age now, and that they're trying to incorporate more of that into the classroom. But we really do need to expose education to market forces. It's just like healthcare. We need to expose them to market forces. And that you will take the time to read my proposal on education at Tlapek.com. If you have to talk about education, I think it's a fairly easy sale to make people. The one-liner there is we need to get parents invested in their children's education. Educators like that concept. They know that education is going to work well, is because parents are involved in their kids' education and are invested in their children's education. And the clearest, most straightforward way to not only market forces to education, but to get parents invested in their children's education is to start charging tuition for it. And it would, of course, involve changing the Constitution. When we change the Constitution, we have to do a vote. Easy. It's not like changing the federal Constitution. Very easy to change the Constitution. And based upon the research I did in the election 4 years ago, it would take on average about $900 per student for each of the 900,000 students and the parents of the 900,000 students in the public school system in Missouri. $900 on average. That would, we need to get rid of the 1% sales tax that get into the education. spend about $10,000 a year per student on education. That's just kind of national average. It's also very much what we're spending. When these guys keep talking about, everybody's getting their home taken away from you. A lot of how we pay for education is through property taxes. That's why if you're going to talk about, okay, well, let's get rid of these property taxes and drive people into the home. So what do you give up? You give up education. And so that's the other thing about running for office. You say, I want to cut taxes. You've got to say, well, what are you going to change? What are you going to give up? But I think if we begin to introduce market education, there is the hope that at some point people will actually own their own homes and will not be required to pay rent in perpetuity for a house to live in. Because $10,000 a year is too much for education. If we institute a means set to tuition, that's the way to do it. I think the one-liner there is that I think the parents need to invest in their children's education. The one-liner for proportional representation is that it's not enough to count every vote. We need to make every vote count. And that's what proportional representation does. And on that subject, you listen to Karen, one of the first speakers, talking about proportional representation. And the petition that she circulated was drawn up by Winston Apple, who spoke at our convention. And it has two major flaws, in my opinion. One thing, it wants to reduce the number of state representatives from 163 to 80, as they tend for the U.S. congressional district. The downside to that is that with 163 state reps, it would take just 0.6% of the vote to have a representative in the state house. And so truly, we can make every vote count, virtually every vote count. Every vote would get added to some total to help send somebody to state house of representatives. So I don't think we should reduce the number of state representatives, because then it will reduce the number of people who are going to get representation. And the system's working. Then the other thing that I don't like about this proposal, not that it matters, so it's not going to happen. Get the signature to get it on the ballot. But if we get a chance to rewrite this and continue to work on this with other affiliates of the Green Party and other people in the future, the other thing is they were talking about electing both chambers of the legislature from using proportional representation. And I don't think we should elect both chambers using PR. Elect this 163 state house members, but keeps it the 34 state senators elected geographically. The major objection that you're going to find if you talk to many people about proportional representation is that I give up my local representative. If we elect, theoretically, all the state reps and state senators could all come into Kansas City and the St. Louis region. That's maybe where the best and wisest people are, possibly, oftentimes, is in the bigger cities. So it disenfranchises people. So if we continue to elect the state senate from a geographical region, then everybody would still have somebody locally to complain to. And we can have the best of both worlds. We have a bicameral legislature. On the federal level, we've got the U.S. Senate and the U.S. Congress, 2 U.S. senators. The idea being that all states, large or small, would have protection. The small states would have protection from the large states. The state Senate provides that if we need to elect it geographically, we kind of gives them protection from the big geographical population centers. You know what I'm saying? Wasn't big cities. Okay. That's kind of my bunch of work. I was going to go over briefly, just one more time before I get out of here. But I was also asked to talk about committee structures and conventions. And to this end, you're more knowledgeable than you know. Go to the Libertarian Party website if you want to know about committees and find the information up there that I've compiled there. Whatever the county committee, it's one of those small prints. As you scroll down there, the county committee. It's good information as to how that. And then also, I would encourage you to see if you can't find now. Please go to your phone or your laptops and find the Missouri Blue Book. The Missouri Blue Book. They quit printing that. no longer printed, but the information is online. And so I'd like for you just to see who is in the Blue Book, who is Libertarian in Greene County according to the Blue Book.
Messed up the book. Ah, there you go. There, I found it. Officers of the Libertarian Party.
So this is the who's there from Greene? Who's in the book from Greene County?
I should be.
Scroll on down.
Bill Boone, 12th District.
Keep on going down. So we list some people. We're also listed by
County.
counties. This is current. So this is the 2017, 2018 Blue Book.
Yeah.
It may be 15, 16, not 17, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Let me see, who's on here? Bill, yeah, this is old. This Corinne is not, Corinne and Mark aren't on the federal. So, but this is, but you got the idea, this committee structure it's important to the local party organization. It's how we decide who gets to make decisions for the political party. One of the things I do with this committee is I am pretty much the liaison between the Secretary of State's office and the state party. If they call up and they say that state rep or state senator has died or resigned or in a special election, they come to me. I try to find out who's on the, do we have a Libertarian committee in that legislative district or a senatorial district in order that we could appoint somebody, because in special elections we don't have a primary election. It's up to the political party committee to decide who gets to be on the ballot. Also, which is a good segue into the state party convention, which is coming up February 24th. Can you all find, I think I'll give it on our website, find where you go to sign up to attend the state party convention. You can go home, it's on the home page, there's a story there, just when you scroll down past the pictures, past him, this is they're going to let the Libertarian Party State Convention. So if you want to sign up to attend the State Party Convention, that's where you want to go. And one of the things that we're going to do there is this year that we will have a nominating convention. Japheth is running, this will be a chance, possibly, for Japheth to get the nod to be our candidate for U.S. Senate. And there will be a vote taken. And who gets to vote will be determined by who is a member. Who is a member, a voting member of the Libertarian Party is anyway. One of the things you do to get to be a voting member of the Libertarian Party is you're on a committee. You're either on the Greene County Libertarian Party Committee, or you're on the state committee, or you are on the executive committee. Those are the three really functional committees, county level committee, state committee, and the executive committee. So if you're on one of those committees, then you get to vote. Or if you've run for office in the past 2 years, or if you contributed $100 in the past 2 years. And that information is in our bylaws, which is also here on this, into this next batch of small audit bylaws. I'm not transferring the bylaws of the party. And in the bylaws, we've got a very lengthy section which was created at the last convention, describing the particulars about how we're going to do this nominating convention. short take on it. Basically, what's going to happen is that let me say the purpose of the nominating convention, first off, is to encourage people to run for federal office. And secondly, to allow, but not require, us to pick a single candidate for the August primary. And this is going to be the first time we've done it. We've only 2 statewide races, state auditor and U.S. Senate. In 2020, there will be like 5 to 7 different races, like governor, lieutenant governor, attorney general, secretary of state, and treasurer, 5, and perhaps U.S. Senate, I'm not sure.
Roy Blunt Senate. No senator in 2020?
What's going to happen at the upcoming convention is we will open the floor up to, the floor will be open to nominations. And anyone may nominate, any voting member may nominate somebody, whether or not that nominee is present. And this is in section 10 of the bylaws. This is the short one. So this is kind of what you all can look forward to. Nominees who are not present must have expressed an interest in running. Then the nominees are going to, we're going to do it per race, and the nominees are going to ask 2 questions. And 1, why are you running? And then 2, what are the big issues in the race? And you will have 1 minute to answer each of those questions. And then after that, there is the possibility of additional questions. People from the want additional questions. It's up to the person running the video, which will be the vice chair, to handle additional questions. And then there's going to be the vote, and it's a 2-part secret ballot. And voting members may vote. A simple majority is all it takes to win the nod to be the sole candidate on the primary ballot. And the function, how this works, is that we, as of now, we still have the right to accept filing fees from whoever we choose. We are not required by law to accept, say, Nazis filing fee to run for a party ticket. So we can, and that's one of the things that you have to do. You'll find on the website running for office, is that you've got to fund. You've got to show them Jefferson City with the filing with some money. Money is to pay a filing fee, which we have the right to refuse. So if we decide that we want to take people and we're not going to let somebody just stroll up during that 1 month window of opportunity to file fee, all the time during the U.S. Senate, we have the right. We can. We don't have to. We may say we want Jacob. We're not going to let somebody come out of the blue and cause him to have to face a contest in the primary. And then the second part of this ballot that we're going to pass is the possibility that we have the right to say that on a majority vote, we are not under any circumstances going to let one of the nominees have it voted out. And that is that. So let me wrap up. One of the things about running you may get a chance to speak to a group of people. So have something that you want to tell them. And that's what I'm talking about. Don't get off this panel without saying what it is you want to say. What I wanted to say today was that I think that we need to go to candidates and whatever we need to come up with a song. We all need to go to the same tone. There's many points that we can. And it's not an easy thing to do. It will be some kind of 50-stage experiment. We will find out what our song sheet is by finding out what resonates. When we start getting more people running for office, and we find out that one person starts talking about improvements to the justice system, and we find that really resonates with people. Somebody else talks about instituting a means tested tuition for public schools, and it doesn't have drive. It doesn't. I can't even sell it. I think proportional representation, we're going to that is something that can be on the song sheet that we'll want to do it. So I want to talk about some of that. And also to make it easier on yourself and look for it. So, you know, be true to yourself. Don't worry about spending money. Don't worry about moving door to door. Don't worry about any candidate forms. Don't worry about forming a committee if you don't want to. If you want to, that's great. You knock yourself out. And then I would encourage you to look at my website, to look at those 3 things that I talked about. Also, to consider the fact that if you do get to speak to people on candidate forum, it's a very set routine of what happens. You get a 2-minute opening spiel, you get about 10 or 12 questions that you're going to get asked up to. You should be prepared for anticipate another questions based on what's in the news. So you're prepared to give an answer to what the audience or the moderator gives you. And if you put a little thought into it, you will not be able to correctly answer those questions. And then you're going to get a closing spiel. And so figure out what it is you want to say in that, and I encourage you to consider those 3 issues that I've got, health care, tuition, and then use our resources. There's lots of information on the website. I bet you all go to those, to the website for information about the committee structure, about the upcoming convention, the bylaws, and also my website for information about things you can say for office. That's it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Greg. This basically concludes our local convention. Are there any questions, ideas, notes? Anybody has anything? Questions?
Sort of a note. Monday, Greg and Sean and the state chair and vice chair of the Missouri Libertarian Party and I will be on a conference call to discuss the state convention next month. Just mostly planning out but one of the things that I think we'll be discussing is the question of the featured speaker workshop giver currently scheduled in our Florida. And we had some discussion around this earlier before we got here. So I want to invite, if you have any feedback, opinions, thoughts on that. I've raised the question whether or not we should still have him as the speaker and or have him as the workshop giver. I'll just raise the question. I haven't even necessarily. So if you have thoughts or feedback on that, I would suggest you come see any of the 3 of us to give us your thoughts. Not right now.
There was, you're right, there was some discussion, touch on that for a minute. There were 2 opinions, of course. One that was in favor of, say, asking for removal, and the other train of thought was, well, if it's on his personal page, First Amendment, kind of does touch on the platform of the National Committee and kind of leave it alone. So, I'm not gonna, that's my personal opinion, that's not the party, this local party's opinion. I wasn't privy to much of or to any of the conversation. I think on Facebook, I believe it was. I didn't really get into that, so I don't know the particulars, just some generalities. I did kind of catch something here and there, but you know, if it's on his personal page, then that's kind of personal. Granted, yes, he's a top-level executive in the party, can reflect party platform, even though he was speaking on his personal page. Well, you know, I don't want to limit people's speech too much, but that's just my opinion. There's still other people here. And Steve.
Yeah, his ride showed up.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe he didn't want to enter into the conversation. Different opinion, I don't know. So, what are the other locals here, want to speak up?
My thought was, you're interested in the Libertarian Party. Joining the party, I go, oh, it's like there's a flag here, and we talk about freedom and liberty, and so we are trying to say that that's down. By the way, I don't know what was said either. Somebody, who was it, gave us the general.
Yeah, it was me.
Well, let me be specific. I'm not talking about this removal or anything. The question of what role for him to play at our upcoming state convention.
And to answer that, when I say that, you know, that's his personal opinion on his personal page, I think to let it go at that and allow a continuation. My personal opinion, I'm not speaking for the rest of the group. So that's up to them. Chris, you seem conflicted.
Arvin's always given a really good presentation in the past, and he's always been welcomed by the Missouri Libertarian Party.
He has spoken before, correct?
Yes.
Columbia?
Yes, he's at Columbia. And so, I mean, my personal opinion is that it was Facebook. Really? We're going to, I don't know how many times I've posted things on Facebook and caused an uproar because of either they misunderstood or something, you know, and why should I, you know, if we've already extended the invitation, why should we recant on that now? Just because of a Facebook post that exploded because of people's reaction to it.
And that's the problem with Facebook is you're not face to face with somebody, listening, looking at their expressions, their demeanor as they're speaking. And they say it's Facebook, but it's, you know, there's no face there. So, you know, it can be hard to read between the lines. Yeah.
And it's not Anthony Weiner on Twitter, so.
So far, a couple of us, I guess, think it's let it ride.
What are your opinion? I'll reserve that. I'm happy to share my opinion with you. I was just kind of looking for feedback from others.
Person, that's not speaking of the local party.
It's not like like he announced he was running for president and then got arrested for drugs afterward.
Or having an affair with a hairdresser.
Yeah.
Or became governor.
Yeah. I mean, it could be way worse. So.
Was there any other topics up for discussion?
I just wanted to mention that at the next committee meeting, we need to start talking about setting up phone banking, candidate class that we talked about at the party meeting like 2 meetings ago. So I could actually get a hold of Brentwood and schedule their little amphitheater that they've got there, and we can do the candidate class there.
I haven't been over there since they remodeled.
I haven't either.
They had a nice room over there.
Oh yeah, it's supposed to be better now. So.
Sean had mentioned an unconvention in May, Omaha. It's a 5-hour drive for us. It's a multi-day, 3 days.
May 25th, 6th, and 7th, which
Hey,
runs
Sean.
This all began, I mean, it's a group within the greater Omaha, Nebraska area that are strong libertarians and putting together some sort of a counterculture convention, but in a libertarian, with libertarian ideals. Their keynote speaker on one of the nights is Ron Paul. There'll be entertainment every night.
What kind of entertainment? We're not gonna have some
James.
Sorry,
Brooks.
Cecil.
Oh.
Speakers. I'm a speaker. Ron Paul's speaker. We're not on the same stage.
Paul's opening for you.
But just looking at the rundown of those that I know on the list, it's a pretty eclectic mix of people. There are definitely people on the docket that don't agree with one another on a lot of libertarian issues, which is good. I think it's, I wish them all the luck in the world. As I said, they asked me to speak a long time ago, I agreed with it. I don't regret that decision. I look forward to doing it. I'm not going to be there all 3 days. I just can't take 3 weeks leading up to Memorial Day to it. So I'll work my schedule around it. Creating a window whenever I said I would speak. It sounds like a lot of fun. I encourage anybody to go that can. They're trying to make this an annual or semi-annual event. They're really trying to do that right.
Well, the fact that Dr. Ron Paul is speaking is incentive for me to go. As you pointed out, maybe not all 3 days.
Hey, Sean, can you email me that?
Like I said, it's a 5-hour up and back. So, something to think about.
A road trip.
And I'm thinking about a machine, road machine. Either going to be a Vic, Marquis, Lincoln. A Ford product, let's put it that way. And my grandma's anyway, anything else? Anybody has any notes, messages, ideas? Well, then I declare this convention over. Thank you. All the way to Kansas City and Joplin.